Welcome back to the Rebel Crow Psychic Show with your host, Athena Silver.
Hey guys, I'm Anja River.
Tonight, we are getting into the Earth signs. We're talking about Taurus. We're talking about Virgo. We're talking about Capricorn.
Yeah, we are.
For all of you, we are talking about my sign tonight. We're talking about my sun, people. I'm a Capricorn for all of you that don't know. So we're going to be talking about my people. So you want to start us off, Anja?
Yeah, let's talk about Earth signs as a whole. So last month we did a fire sign episode. And
you guys loved it.
I hope so. So, like real quick to recap fire signs, you think about the energy of the element. It's hot, it's nourishing, it's fast paced. It can destroy. It's got power, So when you think about the earth signs, you think about the earth. You're thinking about, this is a slower energy. It's more complete though. When you think about like the earth houses all the other energies. The earth is where the fire is on, the water is on the earth. So it's a more, the only thing the air really isn't, but whatever.
Yeah,
so
but they're like legit aliens.
Yeah. Hey, I'm air sign all the way.
I love you air signs, but you guys are otherworldly. Let's be real.
Yeah. So the earth element really you think about nature, think about like this, spring turning into summer, turning into fall, and everything still being so powerful, right? So earth signs are the dependable, stable, really gets the job done as a people, Taurus.
Very
Taurus,
grounded.
Virgo, Capricorn, we've got grounded energy all across the board, which is very cool. So let's get into Taurus.
All right, for all my Tauruses, my beautiful bulls, you guys, Taurus starts out from April 19th and goes to May 20th. We have The Rock, Dwayne Johnson he's a Taurus. Queen Elizabeth II, holla, she's a Taurus too. There's George Clooney and Adele. So Tauruses, they get stuff done. They don't take no for an answer. They're very powerful people. Now we're going to get into the myth about Taurus. So there's one myth that deals with the connection that Taurus has with Egypt, particularly with the bull symbolism for Osiris and Isis, the royal Egyptian couple. We're going to talk about the Greek mythology here because it's more well known to people, but, we'll be doing an ancient Egyptian episode at some point. So we'll stick that one in there for y'all. So tonight we're going to talk about the bull. We're going to talk about this beautiful guise of a bull, a strong, strong bull. And it seems like every time Zeus, the highest god in the Olympians, likes to fool around on his wife, every time he does it, he goes in like a bull. He turned himself into a bull and he messes with some wood nymphs for some sea nymphs or some, a beautiful princess. In this case, he hollers at Europa. She's a beautiful princess. She's just out there chilling on the beach, hanging out with her maidens, and she sees a bull on the beach. First of all, I want to know, what the hell is a bull doing on the beach?
Right.
And if there is a bull on the beach, why are you touching it? Would you want to be like, where is this bull coming from? How is he walking on the sand? I digress. So she was chilling with her maidens. They decided, let's jazz this bull up. So they picked some flowers and they made a garland and they put it on the bull. And Europa was like, you know what? I'm going to ride this bull. So she gets on, and then all of a sudden the bull does like a left-hand turn and just starts swimming out to sea, kidnapping this chick. That's what she gets for riding strange animals where they don't belong. Just saying. So essentially Zeus the bull kidnaps this chick and takes her and swims all the way to Crete. So he basically swims across the Mediterranean Sea to Crete. I want to know how she didn't drown, but whatever.
Right? For real.
So they get to Crete, Zeus comes out, and shows himself, and then they start having 3 kids together. Poor Hera.
Right.
That's all I gotta say.
Well, she
Zeus,
married him. I'm sorry. If you don't know
she
at some
did.
point.
She did. And she caught him like 10 times over. So
Yeah,
she's part of the problem here too.
exactly. Ladies, own yourself.
Yeah, own yourself and and don't mess with bulls. You
Mhm.
never know. Anyway, she has a son, the oldest son, Minos, and he's the first person to introduce the cult of bull worship to the island of Crete. And if any of you history buffs out there and historians, they have heard or talked about the Minotaur from Crete and King Minos, and that's who we're talking about here. He's allegedly a descendant of Zeus, because that bull is messing around. Anyway, all of you beautiful Tauruses are strong and resilient, and you have those characteristics of that beautiful, strong bull. You got it in ya. So tell us more, Anja. Tell us more about Tauruses. What do they have to offer?
All right. Last time I got totally hung up on the Aries I am and Taurus 2B. It was just very heady for me. Whatever. Right. I've been thinking about it all month. It's really been affecting my life.
Let it go, baby. Let it go.
Aries, the I am, and the Taurus 2B really are like a very philosophical kind of a juxtaposition for me. So like the I am of Aries is again like that fire, like where you are is the party, like you just carry that with you all over the place. And the Taurus 2B is the same kind of energy, but just totally reverse. It's again being connected with the earth, being connected with your surroundings, being connected with what you create, and that's one of the things that I love about Taurus so much. And I'm going to say this right now: any of you Tauruses out there want to invite me to your dinner party, I am there. Please invite me. Because you guys have the best food, like it's always like
they're very in the moment.
Yeah, in the moment, but just the surroundings. Like when I think of Taurus, I think of like, and I know men, women, whatever, I think of like the nurturers, because they just have this like beautiful sense of like, I want to create this space that's not about a space. It's about the love. It's about the love that's in the space. It's the comfort for sure. And it's usually very stylish. You guys have great taste.
They're very tactile as well.
Yes.
They like texture.
Very, very, very tactile, and, I really appreciate the easygoing nature of the Taurus. Like there is a lot of, you can piss a Taurus off and then that's a problem, but the easygoing, it takes a lot to get there. I like that. I like that energy. Also, Taurus is the fixed sign of this element, and the fixed signs are in the middle of the season. So it corresponds to kind of being able to sustain a project for a long time. So, we'll talk about more about the mutable and the cardinal, or the cardinal and the mutable signs a little bit later, because each one of the other signs are cardinal and mutable.
Yeah.
But so the Taurus is the fixed, and also all the fixed signs have a problem with stubbornness. So that's kind of a negative. So you guys can be a little stubborn.
Taurus, they're the type that if you piss them off, they're never gonna stop. They're just gonna keep being mad and letting it fester, they're not so forgiving. When you burn an earth sign, they don't forgive you. They will carry that grudge to you're dead. And then they're dead.
But it takes a while to get there. Like it's not just off the bat. It's not like quick, it's very
slow.
Not
like Aries that just goes straight there. You
go straight
piss
there,
them off consecutively.
But then the next day Aries will forget.
That's true.
So anyway, so I also have a tarot card for you guys for Taurus. The tarot card for Taurus is the Hierophant. It makes a lot of sense because the Hierophant is traditional. It's talking about values. It's talking about stability. It's talking about wisdom and putting in a lot of work to get what you want. And as you can see, it's also, these beautiful, beautiful surroundings and like keys for higher knowledge, which is really cool.
It also harkens back to status.
Yes.
Taurus they like status.
Good point.
Mm-hmm. They like to be at the top of that hill, not at the bottom.
Right. All right.
All right.
So let's move
ready
on
for the
to
next sign?
Virgo. Happy birthday, Virgos.
Happy birthday, Virgo. Shout out to my sister. She's a Virgo. You know.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Shelby. Hopefully you're listening.
Yeah.
All right. So our Virgos are August 23rd to September 22nd. Some notable Virgos are Mother Teresa, Selma Hayek, Cameron Diaz, Jennifer Hudson, and Michael Jackson. So those are people that have done big things, that were very well known, that were very much in the spotlight. You Virgos love your limelight. You know, you guys like your recognition, which is good. Hey, you know, we all have our thing. So when we talk about the mythology behind Virgo, we're talking about the age-old story of Demeter, Persephone, and Hades. We're talking about the change of seasons. We're talking about the story in Greek culture and mythology. Basically, you know, about Persephone, Demeter's daughter. She's the daughter of Zeus. It's another story where Zeus is hitting people he should not be messing with.
Yeah, it's time to take Zeus down.
Yeah. Zeus just, you know, spreading that seed everywhere.
Yeah.
Recklessly. Anyway, so his daughter, Zeus's daughter with Demeter was Persephone. She was very beautiful, very maidenly, very young and fertile and you know, chaste. And she was chilling, hanging out in a field, collecting flowers, and all of a sudden she gets kidnapped, grabbed, snatched from behind, and taken down to hell. They called it Hades back then.
Yeah, Hades.
So the king of Hades, also named Hades, because it's like a narcissistic thing up in here.
Right.
Listen, when you're the king of the underworld, you got to represent, right?
Yeah.
So he snatches her because he loves her beauty and her softness, because Hades is very ugly and dark and dank and damp, and he needs some life there. So he was looking for a wife that has beautiful and, you know, ethereal. So he basically kidnaps her, rapes her, forces her to marry him, and is holding her against her will. And when all of this is happening, Demeter, her mother, is going loca. She cannot find her daughter. She's flipping out. Her child is nowhere to be found. Demeter, being the goddess of nature and the earth and the seasons, as she gets upset, everything on earth starts dying. All the plants start dying, and the people start starving to death. And you know, the earth gets cold and dead and frozen. And Zeus is like flipping out because all of his people, all of his humans are dying, you know. So he decides, I gotta fix this shit. So he sits down with Hades, he sits down with Persephone and Demeter, and he decrees basically that Hades got to give up his wife so she could come chill at her mother's house, and the world can come back to life, and things can grow, and the humans can eat. And then every couple of months she got to go back to Hades to chill with her husband and, you know, be miserable inside. This talks about the 4 seasons. The story is what the Greeks came up with to explain the changing of time and the changing of the seasons and when it's time to harvest. And it was very important in an agrarian society to have myths about agriculture, because that's the lifeblood of the people is what they can sustain off of with the earth. Right. So Virgos are very much about work. They're very much about,
you said it,
wanting that recognition, wanting people to know exactly who they are, being themselves and put themselves out there like that, you know. And why don't you tell us a little bit more about them?
Yeah, I love to. By the way, I love that story. That's my favorite myth. There's more, so we should do another episode about it.
Definitely. I just wanted to get the highlights.
Yeah, it was great. So Virgos are the mutable signs. That marks the end of the season. Because they're a mutable sign, like you said, the details, that's where they get all that like super, super fine focused detail from, because you're wrapping up the season, you're wrapping up a project, you know. Virgos have this keen sense of detail because they can see the end of the project. They have the ability to see it all the way through and find out where the pitfalls are.
But let's
So it's
not
pretty
play.
cool.
They are super anal retentive and OCD.
Okay, yeah. If you're unbalanced, Virgo, that's probably an issue that you have. So, you know, maybe, you know, like check with your friends, see what they think, you know.
Yeah, talk to a
But
professional if it's real bad.
but on the positive side, you know, that can be very useful. These people are practical, uncomplicated, non-judgmental, usually pretty easygoing, you know,
Super
like,
clean.
of course, super clean, you know, like always willing to help. Honestly, like I have some Virgo friends and it amazes me, first of all, how much you don't know them until you actually earn their trust.
Yeah.
You know, like you get a completely different idea of who they are until you earn their trust. And then once you earn their trust, you're in for life, and they will do anything for you, you know, to help you when you need it. And that's not common, you know, like it's a very common thing with Virgo. So I love that. Shout out to you guys for all that good stuff.
If you piss them off, though, it's like night and day. They will cut you off like you're gangrene.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not even a thing for them.
Just like
know?
Taurus, though, it takes a while to get there. Like it takes a while to get to that point where you earn their trust. Yeah. So if they don't like you anymore, it must have been something really bad, you know, like real severe. You know, and this is, you know, we're talking about people who are like normal. We're not talking about people who have complexes or anything like that. They're, you know, no matter what your sign is, if you've got like a complex, it's different.
It complicates it, yeah.
Yeah. So let's go to the card. So the card is the Hermit. And let me tell you a little bit about this. I thought it was really interesting. So the reason why it's the Hermit, and Virgo is talking about like it's the virgin, but you know what? It's not that Virgos are virgins. In fact, they're usually very sexual. The Hermit is also, you know, he's an old man. He's probably, you know, been around the block a few times. But it's about being able to be complete on your own. That's why it's the virgin. That's why it's the Hermit. And I thought that was really interesting because every Virgo that I've ever met, I'm like, yeah, you're right. You know, like they might love being in a relationship. They might be great at being in a relationship, but they're complete on their own.
They're self-contained units.
Yeah.
You know,
and
you don't have to add water. You're good.
You don't have to add water. Yes, that's right. That's a beautiful strength, you guys. You know, like really nice.
Very much.
All right, so let's move on to Capricorn.
Capricornio, my favorite. That's me, baby. So, all my Capricorn people, we start off December 21st to January 20th. I'm somewhere in the middle. Some notable ones: Athena Silver, Stephen Hawking, Elvis, Michelle Obama,
nice,
John Legend, and Mel Gibson.
Okay, that's an interesting crew.
It is, but these are all people that will do whatever the hell they want, for the good and for the bad, depending on who we're talking about.
Yep.
Mel Gibson was on the bad one. Just in case you guys didn't pick up on that. Bad side. So this is an interesting story. Through all the research that we've done, coming across this story really, I found it to be interesting and kind of ironic and hilarious all in the same bout. So,
well, what is it?
This is the story about the time the Olympian gods crashed Egypt. It was not for party, it was desperation. They were in the middle, the Olympian gods, these are the Greek pantheon, Zeus and all his people, they were fighting a battle against the Titans. This was way back before they found their home in Olympus. They were fighting the Titans that had control of the earth, they were doing all sorts of horrible shit to people. So as they were fighting this Titan monster, they Zeus turned into a ram. Hera turned into a white cow, because we all know she a cow. Bacchus turned into a goat, and they all fled to Egypt. When the monster came to Egypt, Bacchus jumped into the Nile River, trying to get away and trying to rush. And in this rush, he wasn't able to fully turn out of a goat. So he was partially a goat and partially a fish. And he kind of got stuck that way.
Got that way. Oh.
Yeah, right?
I was wondering.
So he was trying to jump in, being a bum and trying to run, instead of standing and fight. So guess what? He got half and half.
Yeah, right.
He couldn't change into the fish all the way, so he had like goat legs and like half a goat and some fish. It didn't work out right. So as he jumped in trying to ditch everybody, he started like floundering around. He started screaming, and it actually turned out to be a good thing for him, being a bitch. Is that his screaming, he wound up distracting this Titan monster, so that Hermes and Zeus could finish the monster off and ambush it and take it out, and they chopped it up and all sorts of stuff. And so for his inadvertent, heroic nature, I would call it, running, but to each his own. Zeus decided to give Bacchus like a show of his thanks by making him a constellation and part of the stars for everybody to see and rejoice in how he helped defeat this Titan monster. And after that, they did what all other Olympian gods do. They were chilling.
Right. Nectar time.
Yup. So yeah. So it's a story about sometimes you don't have to stand your ground. Sometimes you got to bring your fight somewhere else. You can win it in other ways. Sometimes you take a situation that's out of hand and you may do something that may look cowardice, and it happens to save the day. You know? So that's Capricorns, we're making lemonade out of a bunch of stale ass lemons.
That is so true. Like, that's such a Capricorn energy, that I found, especially through you. Like, definitely, like, this is off, like, just from my own head, thinking about like how positive you are and how you kind of like just push through things. And I find that's like a very Capricorn energy. Like, it's all right. We're just going to get this done. Don't worry. Let's get this done.
We're fighters, we're fighters and we're survivors. A lot of Capricorns, most Capricorns have definitely been through dark chapters in their life, and they've been able to push through it and fight back and get traction and gain ground,
Right.
It's really a sign about living and doing what you want and being who you are. Capricorns are very much who they are.
Badass.
Well, thank you, love.
So Capricorn's the cardinal. So it's the beginning of the season. And this is a blessing and a curse for you guys because, Capricorns are all about work. I like work. Love it. Just work, right? And you guys can see like everything in front of you, and you can go after so many different projects at once. So that's a blessing and also a curse because it's hard to stop. It's hard to be and just focus on.
We don't shut down. It's always on. It's either on or off. You don't get anything in between. Yeah. And that's how you live your life, is like through your work, which is in some ways really wonderful, and, it could be a little unbalanced too. Like, it's always the best things about a sign is always what could be the detriment, like if there's too much of that thing. So, you're ruled by Saturn, which is, father time, like definitely about limitations. And that might sound counterintuitive, but because limitations and death so well, death also, is like, it's a big Capricorn, energy, because like, I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you always have this idea of like, I'm going to die at some point. I got to get this
You know, like
yeah, it's very much, you know, and excuse my French, but it's very much a fuck it mentality. It's like, I know where the wall is, so I'm gonna live wildly and do everything else in between that wall to see how far I could push it. But we're pushing it far.
Yeah, right. And that's sort of the surprising thing too, is that there's so much fun with the Capricorn energy. So even though they're all about work and like sometimes it gets that can be out of whack, you know, there's all of those positive energies exist there as well, and they're just as like you're funny as hell, and I think that's a lot to do with your Capricornness. You know, like it's great, you know, like it's just that everything exists through that lens. So
yeah,
I would
true.
definitely yeah.
I would also like to point out that statistically, most CEOs of Fortune 500 companies are Capricorns.
That does not surprise me.
Me
okay,
neither.
I'm gonna say something that is totally made up by my own brain, but if anybody knows the show Parks and Recreation, I'm sure so many of you do. Leslie Knope, I swear to God, has got to be on the cusp between Aquarius and Capricorn. She's just like always going. She's like a little Energizer bunny, just work.
Yeah.
And I think she's on the cusp because Aquarius is all about like making things better for the world, blah, 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 blah. So I just,
I would say another reference, if y'all know 30 Rock, I think Liz Lemon's a Capricorn.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're right.
Because she's always momming everybody, keeping everybody happy and in line, and getting everybody to work.
But then she gets stuff done, right?
Yep.
She's like, all right.
And then she goes home, and then her life is a complete disaster because all she does is work. Yeah, that's a Capricorn problem.
Do you want to know your tarot card?
I would love to know my tarot card.
It's the Devil.
That makes sense.
And you know what's interesting is because the Devil in the tarot is not, you know, it's also Pan.
Yeah.
So
and Bacchus.
And Bacchus. Yeah. But I think it's about the, you know, like the chains, you know, like it's
we're chain breakers.
You're chain breakers. Yeah. And if you're not in balance, you know, what is the chain? Right? It could be that, you know, the chain is this like idea that you can't stop going, or you can't, you know, you can't relax and just be.
I think the chain is also mortality.
Mm-hmm.
We know it's there. Yeah. It's hanging around our neck, but yet we're still living life despite it. Yeah. Like being a dog on a chain.
And I think you're secret freaks. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure you're secret freaks.
We're low key. You know,
well,
some are freakier than others. It depends on, you know, your natal chart.
What's it called? Closet freaks. You guys are closet freaks.
Yeah, definitely. You know.
So that's it. I'm so excited.
That was really good. You know, I hope you guys. We all hope you guys enjoyed it. You know. Make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe at Rebel Crow Psychic Show for more spiritually centered content. If you are looking to have a reading, either a tarot reading or a mediumship reading or spiritual service with me, Athena Silver, I can be reached. My website is readingswithathenasilver.com. My Instagram is athena.silver. I'm on Facebook as well. You guys can see me on TikTok now. Me and the rest of the 12-year-olds. I'm at Athena_Silver. How do they get in touch with you, Anja, if they're looking for services?
I can do tarot readings. I love doing shadow readings. If anybody wants to reach out for that, but all kinds of tarot readings. I'm at Anja River on Instagram and Facebook.
All right, and if you guys want to reach out to us, and have a spiritual topic that you want to hear, make sure you comment on this video and share it to your friends. Let everybody know. You know, we're trying to build a community here with people and resources where we're all helping each other grow and learn. You know, if you guys want to check us out on our website is rebelcrowpsychicshow.com. We put up an episode of our podcast each week, typically on Thursdays. Where it's available in its full length at on YouTube and also on all major podcasting platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify and TuneIn and all those other ones. So yeah. Well, anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun talking about this topic. You know, her and I, we love talking about different spiritual things. So this was right up our alley. We hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Be good to yourselves. Hope you have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.